Hi, I'm Janice Perkins, executive coach. I've been an executive coach for about 6 years, and I help people get out of their own way and see things they can't see. I have a couple places in my story that are incredibly significant to me as an overcomer. Health issues about 12 years ago that I thought was going to wipe me out completely. And so the story of resilience through that has given me a great deal of empathy and perspective for others carrying great burdens that we can't see. And I think has allowed me to hone my intuition quite a bit. And also, I went out on my own 6 years ago. I was a single parent at the time without much of a financial safety net. And the company I was working for was divesting my organization, the one I worked for within the conglomerate, and I was unemployed. And I shimmied out on a thin branch and decided I would kind of consult while I was looking for a job. And then I felt a voice pretty strongly, a very faith-based person, tell me to this was the runway I wanted and go out on my own. And so I've been doing that ever since. And so I didn't know I was going to even become a coach in that process, just as a consultant and a leadership trainer. And because I was a single mom, some of my clients started asking me to coach. And the answer when you are the one income is yes. So I answered yes. That's a note to others. Take a risk on yourself and answer yes and see what happens. The inspiration to become a coach really came from the ask from my clients and also a challenge to myself. I was really good in a group of people. I was good in working with leadership teams, and the opportunity to work one-on-one behind the curtain and get deeper and more in tune with a person individually to see what they weren't opening up with in the group was really interesting and intriguing to me. And it was a challenge to see if I could, to see if that was a space that I could hold and be strong enough in and use the talents that I had with groups and developing leaders in an individual setting. My coaching business is very different year to year, honestly, depending on the client work that I have. A lot of my clients are in 1 year or 2 year contracts, and it depends on the need of their organization. So the last 2 years have been much more coach heavy. So I was probably coaching 15 to 20 hours a week. And this year, I'm probably coaching 2 to 3 hours a week. I'm doing a lot more development and teaching and curriculum development around leadership development topics for organizations. And so it is fluid. It is fluid. That's what I'll say. Coaching, and in some aspects, the individual coaching has become group coaching, even in places. So it just allowing your coaching business to be fluid is really important. The vision for my coaching business is really about the very mantra that I hold to, which is to help people get out of their own way so they can love themselves and others deeper. And the clients hire me and the corporations pay for it, and all of us have to make money. Profitability is important, but it is not the thing. The thing is the person. And if that person can be a better version of themselves everywhere they stand, they win. I win. It isn't about money. It's not about metrics. It's not about measurements. Engaged, highly functioning, passionate people who stand in alignment always outperform the person they were before that. They might not be in the right seat on the bus, but they will always outperform because they will be more engaged and more alive. So the person is what matters. The thing that I see in today's world about coaching is a desire to be self-employed and do something out of service to people and be supportive because I'm a good listener. And that's not what coaching is. I wouldn't have listed that being an incredible listener was one of my highest qualities. I think that to be able to be a successful coach in a variety of industries and situations, you have to have experience. You have to have life experience as well as experience in that area of expertise in order to have perspective and be able to hear and listen what's under the surface for people. I think in the same way that I wouldn't want to go into heart surgery for someone who is 22 years old, I can't get career advice from someone who doesn't have my level or above of life experience in order to draw from something. And I think that that's the most important thing that I see. And I also believe that when I decided to start coaching, I immediately started training myself to be a better coach because I didn't know immediately the difference between coaching and training that I had already done. And training a group is very different than coaching an individual. And I wanted to hone my skills as a coach, which is one of the reasons why I've gotten this certification. This is probably the fourth certification I've gotten in coaching because I want to be the best coach I can be. And I can't just say I'm a coach and then coach. And I think that's the mistake that some people make. You can train and certify yourself so that you get better and better and better at your craft. I would tell someone younger than me the same thing I would tell my younger self, which is like put the effort in, you know, put the work in, but be flexible and be open. I don't think anyone starts out their life at 18 years old in the exact place that they end up at when they retire. And so it's being open to opportunity and experience and allowing other people to connect your talent with your passion. Sometimes we're not sure what we're great at until someone else notices it and calls it out. And so we got to pay attention to that along the journey. And so I would tell my younger self, listen better, um, be strong and do the work, but also listen better and build relationships to enable opportunity to connect for you. Support and affirmation, right? It's also excavation. I like to say it's excavation. It's my job to excavate carefully and cautiously. It's almost like pulling a sculpture out of marble with a chisel. It means openness, means willingness. You know, when I meet with my clients, one of the only things I ask for is willingness. That's all I need. Just trust me to go on the journey. And I think coaching means providing support and a pathway, but also excavating out of love, right? We can't see things that we can't see until someone points them out. We're our own worst enemy. And so that's what coaching is. It's trusting me to be the person that helps you guide yourself back to your best self. Being a leadership development trainer and coach has tremendously impacted my life because the people I get to interact with change me. Every single encounter changes me. I hear the questions and the things that I coach other people on coming right back and hitting me in the face. So it constantly sculpts me into a better person. There's no self-righteousness in coaching. It is humbling. It is incredibly humbling to be a coach. My favorite part of the training with CTEDU was being able to be watched in coaching and being given feedback. I think that's been the most helpful. Peer coaching and feedback, peer coaching, mentor coaching. It's incredibly helpful. In this field, no one sees what you do. It's behind closed doors. So it's like being a programmer in the basement. Nobody sees it until the final outcome. And so people maybe, the person that you coach and the people they work with see benefit. And it's not a thankless job for sure. There's lots of gratitude involved in it, but it has been really helpful to be in a peer situation and have watch other coaches coach also. Is really helpful to pick up on the nuances and the skills and the techniques that you didn't have before. I think this program will help me enhance my coaching business probably just from the certification itself. There are certain places that I knew I might encounter in my professional future in which an ICF certification would be required. I had not encountered it to this point. The other certifications I had were sufficient, but I never wanted to be limited. And so it was really important to me to never have a door closed because I didn't have a global certification. The people in my cohort have been very supportive of each other. For instance, there was someone in my cohort who was really launching a coaching business and was launching a website, and we all gave feedback on his website. And so I know that I will remain in contact with the people in my cohort as I choose to pivot or expand my practice in different ways, that I have people I can reach out to in the coaching world that can give me real-time feedback and understand my positionality as a coach because they've experienced my coaching. I think the biggest transformation for me in this training is being able to listen to myself back and realize things that I didn't hear or that I missed. And watching other people coach and seeing how they listen and inquire has enhanced my ability to be more curious and heightened my inquiry in a way that helps my insight grow for coaching. And then the benefit for my clients is more profound.